One of my favorite things is taking power away from the mega corporations that think they cannot fail and giving it to the little peon on the bottom of the totem pole, posting stuff on YouTube for fun, and suddenly starts to take over. And that is something we are witnessing once again on this glorious day with the Amazing Digital Circus. The Amazing Digital Circus racked up on its pilot episode 10 million views in 4 days. This is a feat that surpasses almost every cable television show of the actual modern era. This is insanity. Written by Gooseworks, who I haven't heard of until now, but now I will be binging all of their stuff, and produced by Glitch, the people that produced Murder Drones, which is also a fantastic indie animation on YouTube. I was more than excited for this release, just simply because I love seeing the little guy succeed. This is where the world needs to go. No more garbage Disney remaking and churning out shiz that just sequels to other shiz for an easy cash grab. No. There has to be soul, passion in your work. And that is very much the case with Amazing Digital Circus. In fact, there is so much of said passion, which I said in a French accent, and now I regret my entire life decisions that brought me here because fuck the French. There should not be silent letters at the end of every word in French. God damn! Anyway, French analysis coming later. No offense, French people watching this. It's not your fault you're fucked up. Definitely leave a like and subscribe for more riveting political commentary. But being that there is so much passion in this digital circus, overflowing to the point that I want to make a separate dedicated video talking about it, you know that it's more than just bubble wrap and cool animation tricks. In fact, it's so much more than that. I like a show that when I finish watching it, I'm still sitting in my seat just staring at my empty screen that turns black from just waiting, from lack of input, and I start to see my reflection, and I'm like, holy ballsack, what the frick did I just watch? I like having an existential nightmare while I'm eating my Cheerios, goddammit. And that is exactly the beauty and madness that the Amazing Digital Circus induced. Before getting into the hardcore analysis area of the video, as well as theories and symbolism and stuff like that, I wanted to let you know that if you have not seen this, you should definitely watch it. You should go over to Glitch, you should watch the Amazing Digital Circus on their channel right now. And then head on over to Nuxanor, premier channel for premier enthusiasts and degenerates, and watch my reaction to that video with a lot of thought and analysis in the actual reaction. But after having boiled it over in my mind a couple of times and rewatching the episode, I have enough to say that it deserves a dedicated analysis video, even though I do think my commentary on the reaction was pretty fucking good anyway. And that's just me stroking myself off because goddammit, someone has to. Let's get into the breakdown and analysis of this one pilot episode, a 25-minute long episode that I'm going to rant and rave about for years. That was hyperbole. I don't know how long this video is going to end up being. Probably not that long, but let's just jump right into it, baby! It should go without saying that the music design, the overall sound design, and the animation for the Amazing Digital Circus is actually top tier. It's incredibly stylized, and that's part of the reason why I love it so much, but generally speaking, there are no janky moments. Everything flows beautifully. The sound design, once again, it's orgasms and eargasms all over the place, and the final cut of the main theme playing while you're zooming into the main character's face is just ball dropping. Now, that's exactly what every single reviewer says when they review this show. They start off and they have a whole video and they talk about how it sounds good and it looks good. And we're finished with that entire segment. We will no longer be covering that. Every other reviewer on the world does that and talks about that shiz. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the existential crisis that makes me regret being born. Fun stuff like that. Just to recap the important plot points so that I don't have to, reference them constantly throughout the video, the episode starts with Pomni, our main character, being sucked into a digital world. It's basically edgelord existential Digimon, and it's a beautiful digital world at that. Now, Pomni does not remember her past life at all. She has no idea who she was or where she came from or anything like that. She just knows that she should not be here, and she was just summoned here for some reason. We don't know. Oh god, it's an isekai. That's not why I like it, I swear. Pomni, who seemingly used to be a human, is one of these 6 humans that we meet in the first episodes that are trapped in this digital circus. You got her, you got Ragatha, a little sweet, optimistic character that's always trying to keep herself happy, to stay sane. You got my spirit animal, Jax, this rude and mischievous character that is just so wonderfully petty and snarky and edgy, and goddamn, I love this long rabbit. There's Gangle, this little ribbon dude with a mask that's always crying, and with a mask that's always laughing on top of that mask that's always crying. He's the embodiment of that meme that's making believe he's laughing and crying and happy, but in reality, he's just this incredibly depressed individual. You got Kinger, a beautiful man that deserves love and respect despite being incredibly emotionally unstable, kind of like I am. He's the oldest one here, and he's constantly paranoid, and he's anxious, and he's hiding, and he's doing all that stuff, and slight dark foreshadowing, you do see a room with a queen chess piece on it with a big X on it, implying that she either died or abstracted or whatever the hell, and I will get into that in a bit. And finally, you got Zooble, a just combobulation of weird geometric shapes, and she seems to be the most sane character here, but she is incredibly short-tempered. Something immediately interesting about meeting these cast of these 6 people that are trapped in this amazing digital circus not knowing how they got there is they're each displaying massive displays of emotion, and that these are completely normal emotions that someone would have in a situation like this, constantly at a state of mind being broken, constantly at a state of not knowing where they came from or what the purpose of their existence is. Whether it's the insecurity that you see in Pomni, whether it's the false optimism that you see in Ragatha, whether it's the snarky bullishness that you see in Jax, the calm and collected yet short-tempered Zooble, whether it's the emotion squashing of Gangle, or the absolute emotional wreck that is Kinger. All containing completely very basic human emotions that a normal character would have being thrown in a situation where they don't know where they came from and they don't know where they're going, where they don't know the purpose of their own existence in this digital circus. And finally, the next main character, I guess, would be Kane. With a brilliant character design of just a floating jaws with eyeballs in it, definitely attention-grabbing, slightly terrifying, and kind of goofy the way he keeps trying to make everybody laugh with terrible jokes, this man seems to be some sort of omniscient deity in this digital realm. The only character present that actually knows what's going on, and in order to throw an initiation for Pomni, who's completely insecure and doesn't know what the hell's going on, he decides to start a challenge where they have to chase these little gromflamites throughout the fucking world of this crazy circus, and they steal shiz, like, you know, dismembering and stealing the body parts of various characters. Now, in my opinion, the scariest part of this whole challenge concept is that it's clearly there to initiate Pomni, but it's also clearly there to keep everyone busy. Everyone is used to these challenges. It's almost like every day they have another challenge where they have to go and do all these crazy Mr. Beast level random shenanigans in order to entertain. They are a circus, after all. They don't know the meaning in their own existence, and there is no purpose in any of the challenges that they're doing, yet they have to keep living, and they have to keep doing that. And living in a world with zero accomplishment and zero understanding of the futility of your own actions can definitely lead down a path of self-destruction, like we saw with another character who abstracted and went from this very cute Madoka Magica character into the witch's realm, this glitching, anomalous, Lovecraftian horror that completely mutated the body and soul of the character into this abstraction, a glitch in the Matrix, if you will. Now, I could focus more right now on the overall plot, and I kind of want to do that in a little bit. But before that, I really need to get across the concept of how this aesthetic plays with your head. This is an amazing digital circus where everyone's doing fun circus things. At the end of the episode, they each get this massive banquet laid out before them with all this delicious food. Not that they actually need to eat food. You see, they don't actually need nutrients to survive. They're in a digital world. They don't need nutrients, but they get all this delicious food. Eating the food is useless, but it feels nice, I guess. Doing these challenges don't actually accomplish anything. You're not saving the world. You're not accomplishing shiz. These challenges are just made to distract you from boredom. But I guess it's better than being bored, so you gotta complete the challenges. It's a circus full of fun colors and fun characters, constantly having a wonderful time in this amazing circus, being incredibly entertaining while they're doing that, but with zero purpose behind anyone's actions. Suddenly and slowly, your mind can just break. There's no legacy you could leave behind. You don't even know who you are in this circus. The goal of every day is just to exist. Despite the wacky animation and the epic music and the really cool sound designs and the fun characters always poking fun at each other behind their backs, and the overall atmosphere of this show just being incredibly upbeat and exciting and riveting and fun, this is an existential nightmare. These are people trapped living day by day with a completely purposeless existence, not knowing what the next day holds and not knowing who they even are. Nor do they even know what they want. They have no hopes. They have no dreams. They simply exist. and they don't even know where. Now, I mentioned this hopes and dreams before segueing back into the plot of this episode because suddenly you are introduced to this concept of an exit door. Now, all these characters do want to leave even though they don't know who they were before this, and they don't really know if leaving is even possible. There's this mythical exit door that Cain accidentally shows to Pomni at the very beginning of the episode, and it's something that other people trapped in this digital circus have known about in the past, or at least a rumor about it. So suddenly you're very interested if there is a way out. Pomni later in this episode does find that very same exit door and takes that exit door. And what's so hilarious about it is that it brings you into this incredibly mundane office, because seemingly these are just human beings that were transported from the very, very mundane world that so many people in this mundane world don't want to be here. The reason why isekai and being trapped in another world is a popular genre is because escapism is what so many people crave. But is escaping into a fantasy world full of adventures and fun really worth anything if you're not accomplishing anything at all? So she's brought into this dark, dreary world that is very much our own. Office buildings and waiting rooms and computer rooms and just the mundane of the mundane, covered in this very dark aura. There is nothing exciting about it, but then again, there's nothing scary about it either. Pomni's terrified though. Pomni is running from room to room, seeing the absolute mundanity of this world, and it is terrifying her, because she doesn't know what the point of anything is anymore. As she keeps running, she eventually ends up in the void, and Cain explains later that this void is just, it's nothingness, it's the end. The exit door is just a patch that was not yet completed. It's not like it's an actual exit of this amazing digital circus. Cain gives them no answers. Cain is an omniscient, seemingly God character to them. Someone that can control everything and control as well as know about what everyone is doing at all times. The only thing that he cannot control is what's going on inside their mind. And when what's going on inside their mind does bubble over, they break and they become an eldritchian horror. Their mind corrupted and their body formed and phased into a different being completely. And that's why the final scene of the amazing digital circus, slowly zooming in to Pomni as she starts to somehow formulate some sort of twisted smile. Happy that her existence is, I guess, fine, but also tragically not knowing what the future holds. In this literal existential hellscape that she is currently living in. Things are fun, things are exciting. Look, she has an epic banquet, surrounded by cool people, but there's no purpose to anything at all that she's doing. This is a Bill Cipher Weirdmageddon hellscape from the perspective of a normie. And this is just the very beginning. The fact that this show is just overall high-pitched and cute and bubbly, with insanely good animation and insanely good character development in the very, very first episode, it can really catch you off guard when you realize you're actually watching an existential horror. The show's funny. The jokes are good. The fact that it's a digital circus, so there are no rules except you can't swear, right? We don't want you to get demonetized in this digital circus. Like, it's completely funny, right? You can't swear. You don't want to get demonetized. You get this cool censor box here in a digital circus. But also, why don't they want you to swear? Are you just entertainment to people? To a higher class? To a higher level deity? Are you playing as some sort of sick Squid Game for rich people to watch? Are you just a cog, a side character in a Mr. Beast video with no life outside of that? And obviously that makes Cain the most interesting character in this entire story thus far. I mean, as far as we know nothing about Cain, aside from that he's seemingly all-powerful and that he is putting on a circus for some reason. The obvious symbolism behind Cain's name, referencing, Cain, the son of Adam from the Bible and the first person to ever murder a human before, is not lost on me. The fact that the Bible verse after Cain kills Abel is God saying to Cain, "Hey Cain, where's your brother?" And Cain's response is, "What am I? My brother's watchman? I don't know." Imagine being confronted by God, and you're gonna answer slyly, not technically lying, but also not being completely honest either. I imagine picking the name Cain for this dude is no coincidence, and yeah, definitely not lost on me the symbolic meaning of this character, Cain, this dude that was playing word games with God after committing humanity's first murder. Of course, this all leads you to millions of questions down the road. Is Cain actually a villain just putting on some sort of sick show for other omniscient beings in this digital world? Or is maybe Cain a hero, somehow driving to save a humanity that is being overrun by AI or whatever? Now, obviously, it's too early, I think, to tell either of these cases. I do think both of them could be completely legitimate. But Kane being a hero or a villain does not detract that this is ultimately a story told by the perspective of Pomni. Voice acted by Jotaro's mother from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah, this is an all-star cast, by the way. And of course, the ultimate metric to know exactly quite how popular this show has become with merely a single episode, I said in my very reaction to this, that I am certain that Rule 34 is overflowing with entries for these characters already, even though they're just weird geometric shapes. And people on Twitter took that clip and made fun of me for it. Well, look who's laughing now. Ha ha ha! You laugh. You say I'm merely saying that because I am some weird degenerate hornball on the internet, and while you may be correct, I also know the approximate knowledge of all things, and I have gained the ability to assess characters' popularity based on their Rule 34 entries, and it is a skill that I have that even Google Trends cannot overcome. Those fools, they don't know that I wear cringe as my armor, and once you embrace yourself as cringe, no one could really call you cringe and expect you to get insulted by it. Although, truth be told, I recently removed Twitter from my phone, so I'm not really seeing all that stuff. Someone linked me the tweet and was like, oh, hey, this you? And I'm like, yeah, that is me. But just in conclusion, I am more than excited for the success of the amazing digital circus. I think it deserves all the praise that it is getting and all the memes that people are making about it. I love the fact that they could hit home with such an incredibly powerful existentialist message at the same time of just being a really goofy, funny story with incredible, zany, and wacky characters, and Jax is goddamn my spirit animal. Jax for me is like Sonic for Chris Chan. Okay, that was a terrible example. Editor, we're gonna wrap the video up here. Leave a like, subscribe for more wacky circus stuff and indie animations and general animations and weird things and degenerate shiz. And if you like people that Twitter doesn't like, I am your guy. Twitter hates me. It's awesome. Join the Nux side of the force. Do it. Stay weird, fam.